Hello and thanks for joining us here on Cheyenne and Arapaho Television. I'm Darren Brown and we're here today with a discussion about the CEDS plan, or the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. Yes, that's a mouthful. That's why I have members of the CEDS Review Committee here with me, tribal citizens who have all had a hand in the planning process. And I'm going to, real quickly, I'm going to let you guys give us your names. We'll start with Governor.
I'm Reggie WASSANA, Governor for the Cheyenne and Arapaho Tribes.
Angela Blind, Executive Director for the Department of Transportation.
My name's Hannah, Prairie Chief. I work for the Planning and Development Program, and I'm doing the EDA coordination.
Hi, I'm Cameron Gloss. I'm with the firm Logan, Simpson, and we're coordinating the whole CEDS effort.
I'm ERWIN PAHMAHMIE. I'm the Executive Director for the Cheyenne and Arapaho Tribes Department of Labor.
All right, well, thank you all so much for being here. Like I said, this is going to be pretty informal, so we're just going to jump in. Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, that's a lot to say, but I think it's fairly self-explanatory. But Cameron, since you're with the group, can you just boil that down and simplify that for us, what it means?
Yeah, simply put, it's really about where the tribes are going to be expending its resources over the next 5 years. And that is to ways to create opportunity for tribal members, jobs specifically, things like jobs training, where to invest money, whether it's building capital improvements like water system or sewer systems, roads, new buildings, and also different types of programs that would benefit the tribes, creating those economic opportunities.
So it sounds like, I mean, to me, it's like the CNA tribes want to go forward and become more prosperous and vibrant than they already are. But to do that, you got to give more jobs to your tribal citizens, pretty much.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, Governor, the tribe has done this at least once or twice before that I'm aware of. Is this some sort of federal requirement?
Well, I think it helps in all aspects of the tribal government, along with receiving grants, applying for grants, and a lot of people use it as a tool to gauge where the tribe is going to go in the future and where we are and where we actually are resources that we need to put in to get to those activities and those projects in the future, because a lot of tribes don't have the land base, they don't have the capital, or sometimes they don't have the personnel to get them where they want to go in advance. And part of what the tribes foremost look for is our job banks. What kind of labor do we have out there to provide for certain industry or certain businesses? And the second thing is that we want to look at is what's the revenue? What type of revenue we're going to make, because that's so important and critical for our programs. If we don't make money to continue our programs, then the tribe is going to, tribal members will have less benefit on a daily basis.
Yeah, you talk about land base. That's something I didn't even think about, because I'm sure some tribes have a very small one, and the tribes here are blessed with a large land base. I mean, things are so different than they were the last time this came out. How was it, 10 years ago? I don't even know.
It was 5 years ago, it was the
Okay.
last CEDS, it was the last update, but you're right, a lot has changed. I mean, just think of technology alone.
Yeah. This next question is open-ended, because I said I know everybody has expertise in certain areas. Economic opportunities, you know, each tribe has something that's, I guess, maybe unique. What is it you guys think that the CNA tribes have that maybe we didn't have a few years ago, or something that we can really build on?
I think that our education is growing. Just the social aspect of the media, the social media out there, that's driving a lot of industry that's taken effect in all of our daily lives, whether it be some type of Facebook, social media, anything that has to do with technology. Now you have a lot of cyber technology that's going on. We're concentrating on a lot of those issues, and in order for us to get there, we have to be educated, and we have to develop that labor force when they do get educated, to bring them into the tribe and help the tribe. The tribe will only advance as far as our members take us. You know, it's good that we bring in consultants. They can look from the outside in, but in the end, it has to be driven by the tribal members who want to see the tribe succeed. And in order to do that, we need to make sure they're educated and they come back to the tribe and are part of the labor force. If they don't come back to the tribe and they're out there in the public sector, then you know, that's great. They're a tribal member being successful, but we also need them here for all those people who need that knowledge and that skill, and those people who are dedicated and committed and want to see the tribe actually grow and expand and take us into a better, positive direction that we all feel that we need to be headed towards.
And we talk about labor. I know all you folks, that's something you're in. I know that's where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that, ERWIN?
Yeah, just like Governor said, you know, we want to expand on those opportunities for innovation, distant learning, remote learning, as well as ensuring that, you know, like he said, we have an untapped labor force here. They need to be trained, educated, updated, and even retooled in most cases, because some of our industries that were here aren't here anymore. So we need to be looking, again, towards the future. And I'm very grateful to be a part of the CEDS committee. So, yeah.
Angela, I know that Cheyenne and Arapaho TV worked with your department, your transportation department, not long ago on the same type of thing.
Yes, a recruitment process. And it was an eye-opener and definitely something that we feel like would benefit the tribes in the future. I believe what we worked with Department of Labor and Department of Education, CATV, may be a catapult to the next step in trying to seek tribal members that are looking for employment. And that goes hand in hand with what I want to state, what I feel like is important, is having that leadership in place, providing an example for the next generation. And right now, what I see a lot of is a lot of our departments are collaborating. So I think collaboration amongst the different programs and the services goes a long way, coordinating activities with the different departments, as well as getting support from our tribal leaders. I don't think we've had that in the past, where our decision makers, our legislative branch has worked so well with the executive office, the governor's office, and passing resolutions that really support what the departments are focused on, the programs and the services that we're trying to bring to the tribal members. You know, the tribes have had a long history of infighting internally that has held us back. But I think with us in place, with those that are in place, that leadership that's in place is providing that example for the next generation of how we can work together to make these things happen.
You talk about collaboration, and to the people who are outside, that's like, you guys weren't doing that anyway? And it sounds very simple. It sounds very simple to do, but it's I will say, and I've done it myself, is that it's so very easy to get wrapped up in what you have to do for your own personal job. And you may have a program right across the hall, right down the hall, and you guys are doing close to the same thing, but you don't even know it. And then it takes someone to say, hey, why don't you guys work together? And then it seems to make sense. But I think that, I agree, I think there's so much talent here within each program here at the tribes that it definitely makes sense we should collaborate. I know that, like I said this discussion here is the start of this, what's going to become like information sharing all over. I know that you said Logan Simpson will be back over the next few months. But since you guys are all in review committee, I guess there's more community listening sessions, more, I mean, you're meeting with different groups, is that right?
That's right, yeah, and we're meeting throughout the tribal jurisdiction. So a lot of the smaller communities, I think, that are further removed from where we are right now, that they want to be heard. They want to express what they value and where they think there's opportunity. So it's a really, these first meetings are about listening.
Hannah, I know you're on this committee as well. Is that something you're involved in? Tell me what you're part in. What part I know you've been doing a lot behind the scenes. I just need to know.
Okay, so we're doing the CEDS update with an EDA grant, and I'm the coordinator for EDA right now. I'm working with Logan, Simpson, Emily, Cameron. There's several more back at their offices.
The Americans with Disabilities Act, is that what ADA stands for?
The EDA, Economic Development Authority.
I knew that.
So yeah, I'm working with them and tribal leaders and Christine, and we're just trying to get our CEDS updated, hold these meetings, hold these community meetings, get the tribal members involved, because I hear a lot of opinions voiced to me all the time. I see it on social media. There's say this about the tribes or that. I think we should do this. I think we should do that. I feel like these community meetings that we hold are the perfect opportunity for you to come and voice your opinion. Take our surveys and just watch out for our social medias and be involved as much as you can so we can have this plan as Cheyenne Arapaho people.
Governor, can you address that as well? Because I know that, you know, with Western Oklahoma, sometimes our tribal members out that way, because of the distance. I mean, just a little distance out some places feels like that. So I know that sometimes folks I've spoken with, they feel like they're isolated, and sometimes the distance you only plays into that. And you know as well as I do that sometimes if people don't get proper information, they come up with their own. And so, but what can the tribe do to make sure that everyone is involved in this process?
Well, I think what the tribe is trying to do is, although we're a long distance away from each other, whether they're from Woodward or Hammond or someplace further out from Concho, we're trying to shorten the distance, so to speak, that we're trying to take programs and we're trying to offer more to those areas, just like our ERCs, our emergency response centers. We built those in Hammond, Woodward, Watonga, all the outlying areas, and it'll give us the opportunity to not only do telehealth medicine type things, but to also provide a place that we can go and maybe have other programs stationed there that they can go down the road, you know, 3, 4, 5 miles instead of 60, 80 miles. So we're trying to shorten the distance that would take people to actually get assistance. And when we do economic development, we try to look at those areas because those areas don't have a lot of jobs that are being produced yearly or any time. So just like, let's say we did Watonga. Watonga now has has a casino and 80 hotel room and conference center. Well, with just the hotel and all the others, we probably doubled our workforce. So those people who are within 30, 45 minutes now will have an opportunity to become employed, make a good living for their families, and stay in those areas. A lot of people move from the west to the east to go to bigger towns such as El Reno, Oklahoma City, to find job opportunities. If we can create job opportunities out there in the west or out there in the rural, smaller communities, those people will have the opportunity to stay where they feel comfortable. And that's what we try to do. And in the long run is try to get our tribal members, especially our elders, in a comfort of where they live and where they want to be, because some people don't want to go to the city. Some people like the rural areas. It's just peaceful, quiet. There's not a lot of maybe crime, or there's not a lot of drama in those areas, so they like the smaller places. So we want to develop jobs. We want to develop places that they feel that this is where I want to stay. I want to be here. I only am 30 minutes away from my job. I like my job. I get paid a decent salary, and it's affordable living. So we do look at the West, and we are trying. I think Angie can tell you that she's developed some things out there in the West that's closer than coming to Concho, you know, and so we are trying. We are trying to Hammond, Woodward, Watonga, you know. So we're gonna have facilities that we can either go out there on a certain schedule, or we can place people out there. So I think we're getting there. You know, by no means are we perfect, but we're getting there a lot better than we have in the past, and I think that shows on our commitment and our compassion for our tribal members.
You mentioned Angie, and that's exactly what I was thinking, because that's got to be something that you hear about all the time in your department, and I don't, you know, this doesn't happen overnight, over a few months, this is a big deal. This is a big undertaking.
Yes, I would agree, and you're right. Department of Transportation has, I guess, a lot of irons in the fire to say, because we deal with roads, we deal with safety, and developing transit as well. And so we do have goals to build another facility, hopefully in the northwest quadrant our service areas so that we can provide services in those remote locations and bring it closer to our tribal members. We're hoping to build another transit facility that will have vehicle bays that we can do preventative maintenance, not only for our transit vehicles, but our tribe's fleet of vehicles, but also eventually open it up to tribal members. And it has been on our plan, and again, I feel like that's why I'm involved in the CEDS committee. I see the importance of developing plans. That's probably the go-to for transportation. It's a requirement of our federal funding. And so just the experience I've had with developing 5-year TIP plans and long-range transportation plans has given me the insight of what the CEDS, requires and includes and entails. So I feel like it's important to be involved in the CEDS for that purpose, just bringing the experience that we've had dealing with transportation. But yes, going back to what Reggie said and showing that we do have compassion. For years I've heard that, our tribal members get left out in those remote locations, and we have strived to improve in that area and, develop in those communities and bring those services closer to our tribal members in those areas where they feel isolated. And it goes a long way. And again, I can't reiterate the support we've had with this administration and the leadership that we've had in place. So I do hopefully see the CEDS succeed and see some of those goals through. And I have seen some of them come to reality that have been placed on the past CEDS. So that's an example of success there.
This is so much great answers. I mean, so much great discussion happening. I know you mentioned, Hannah, about how the idea is to get people involved, and then you mentioned you work with
Department of Labor.
Thank you. Well, I know. I mean, I knew that was shadow, but I didn't. I mean.
Oh, my program.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like we talk about getting people involved. I think from your point and your perspective as well, what does that mean? It's more than just showing up to a meeting and listening, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, how do you explain to these folks who want to be part how they can be a part? And because you can't just show up, you have to take action. I think is what we're trying to say. How can someone really make that happen and really be a part of it?
I think, well, what I've seen of the plan right now, engaging the community where they're at is where, is key. Because, I mean, them coming to us is not going to make any difference. We're going to them. Again, it shows that, we're sensitive to their, to them and their location, as well as during the activities or whatever it could be. I mean, I think I've seen some cultural type things that are going to be scheduled. I see that we're going to be engaging the youth. And that's really important too, because if we start with the young ones, get them skilled. In fact, this past year, our youth program was a lot different than years past. In the years past, we put them to work. Here's your key, here's your computer, here's your phone, go to work. Okay. We're realizing now that, people need more coaching. They need more hands-on. They need more, that close relationship on how to get to where they want to be. So by knowing that, we all learn life skills. We all learn the basic skills of money management, planning, again, basic planning, getting ready for to work tomorrow, lay everything out. But the thought is that, we want to invest in the youth, investing in them now while they're young, getting these good skills, getting these good behaviors, these good habits versus all the negative things. We want to make sure that they have this awareness and also prevention too, because we know sometimes things that are cool aren't that cool. So.
No.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Later
on,
right?
Yeah, I know, right? But still, we want to, like I said, promote and empower the youth that we have this year. It was an 8-week program. While they did work, it was mostly life skills. I know they helped out with like the horticulture type areas. They did things from even cooking to laundry, to planning a meal, to going to the store, grocery shopping, everything. Anything that involves life in relation to, how to get to where you want to be. And they are, again, planning, just like we're doing here. Basic things, but, very important to help us. So,
Hannah, what are your thoughts on that? And how people can best be engaged, be involved in this process? Because it's going to be, we got some time to work with, and people need to know
Okay, well, first things, always go to our website. We update that all the time. Follow our social medias. Look out for calendars that we put out there saying we're going to meet here. You can be involved here. Click here. Look out for those type of things. If you to include yourself with our planning as Cheyenne Arapaho people, once again, because we're all one tribe, or two tribes actually, but together. And we're trying to work together for the people, for our youth, for our future. So if you guys could, you know, look out for our ads, our advertisements, our posts, and like I said, check with our website all the time and see what we're doing as a tribe. That's the best way to stay involved.
Thank you. You know, we could talk about this for probably another 30, 45 minutes. Who wants to do it? No, I'm joking. We could, absolutely we could. And then bring in more people and talk some more. But I think I want to wrap it up with you, Cameron, since you're from Logan Simpson, the group that's doing this plan. And I understand that you were involved in the last one.
I was involved in the comprehensive plan about 10 years ago.
Okay. So. Okay, so I feel better already. This is not an easy thing to do. This is, I mean, obviously, certainly, there's a plan for making this plan put it together. But what's the timeline on this, and when are we looking at the final draft?
Yeah,
the final.
Yeah, the finish line would look like March of next year. That's when we hope to take the plan for adoption. But between now and then, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We'll be developing very detailed master plans for several of the reserves. So think of the area around Canton Lake, or here in Concho or Clinton. So there's detailed master plans that will really help the tribes get the kind of funding that they need to put in maybe some very expensive capital infrastructure, create programs. This is a level of detail that wasn't included in the last comprehensive plan or last CEDS plan. So there's a lot of work between now and then, and we'll also be checking in with tribal members multiple times. So we have be back in October, and then early next spring we'll be back as well. Essentially coming up with a draft plan and having everyone critique it.
We've got a little cot for you in the back. You can stay here. Because it sounds like you're going to spend a lot of time in Oklahoma, out in there in CNA country. Well, I think we can probably close with that because, like I said, we could go on and on. But I think, Hannah, you mentioned, where can people keep up with, give us that website where people can keep up with the progress on this plan.
Okay, cheyenneandarapaho-nsn.gov is our tribal website. And then on Facebook, we have Cheyenne Arapaho Executive Office, or is it just Cheyenne Arapaho Tribes? And then Planning and Development has their own as well, and that's where I will be posting a lot of the CEDS. Most of my CEDS stuff will be on Planning and Development's Facebook page.
But is there a website?
Yes.
I mean, the tribal website.
The tribal website, and then you navigate to Planning and Development, and then there's all of our information about the CEDS will be on the tribal website. It is on the tribal website, including our current CEDS and our past comprehensive plan.
Wow. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Ha-ho and the Irish. And thank you for joining us. We will stick around. I mean, don't stick around, but be on the lookout for more information about the CEDS plan that we'll share on all the Facebook pages and the website. And if we have some information here at CATV, we will obviously pass that along to you as well. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Dan.
See you next time.
Thank you, Dan.